From the moment she could walk, our next guest was born to race. I'm Penny Lane, and this is In the Driver's Seat. At just 5, she wanted to race motorbikes, but her parents thought it was too dangerous. So at 8, she hit the go-kart track. By 14, she was the youngest female competitor in Formula Ford and the smallest driver the Sonic Motor Racing team had ever seen. Now, at 23, Courtney Prince is making waves in Porsche Racing with Formula One dreams in her sights. Welcome to the show, Courtney Prince.
Thank you so much for having me on.
Thanks, good to see you, Courtney. Now, you never slowed down. Why the attraction to speed and cars?
It's just something I guess I've always been interested in since I was young, living on a few acres. So always had buggies and motorbikes and all that. And I just love going fast, anything that goes fast.
Bit of a thrill seeker. Now, your parents weren't thrilled with the idea though, were they?
No, they weren't keen on motorbikes for me, so took them a bit of convincing. But after probably a year or so, I convinced them that we should go go-kart racing, and they bought me a go-kart. So I started in karting when I was 7, but I started racing go-karts when I was 8.
Just 8 years old, that's so young. And how did you go from go-karting into racing?
Yeah, it's a very big step to go into car racing. Normally the first step is Formula Ford, which I went into. So yeah, it's a very big step even physically, because you're going from go-karts to something that's quite heavy, no power steering. So there's a lot of gym work, but yeah, I guess just from results in go-karts, I won a few Australasian titles, a few championships and that, which provided me, I guess, the opportunity to go to the next step in my career, which was Formula Ford. So I did that for 3 seasons, the national series right around Australia.
Well done. Are you ever scared?
No. No, I know it sounds really weird, but I guess you just have to trust yourself, back yourself. I've had enough experience now in my career that I hope I know what I'm doing. So yeah, you just got to back yourself.
Yeah, I suppose if you've got that trust in yourself, that's the most important thing. Now, have you got any inspirations or any role models in the world of racing?
Yeah, since I was young, I've always looked up to Lewis Hamilton.
Yeah.
I think he is a pretty awesome guy, even just his branding, his fashion sense, everything. I really like how he goes about things. I think also now probably Lando Norris, I think the way he brands himself is very good, and all the stuff he's doing in his space and how well he's going in Formula One.
Is there any female racers that you look up to?
There's not that many female racers. In Australia, there's only a handful of us, and there's no one really in the main games. I've been in Porsche Carrera Cup, which is one of the main games, but currently there's no other female like in Supercars or Super 2 or Carrera Cup or anything like that. So it's very hard, I guess, to look up to a female. Overseas, there's a few that have dabbled in NASCAR, like Danica. I guess she's probably one that I'd look up to, but there's just not a lot around.
Yeah, well, hopefully you're going to be the one that is going to be leading the way for all those girls that want to get into racing as well, because it is so male dominated, isn't it? Has it made it tougher for you to achieve success, especially when it comes to finding funding?
Yes, definitely no funding's, I guess, the biggest part in racing. Driving's probably about 20%, 80% is funding. So, yeah, for a normal season in what I race in the kind of GT world and Porsche world, it's about 500 grand at least you have to raise per year. And that's no damage cost, that's just purely running for the year. So, you technically need to find a bit more of that. And yeah, it's quite hard to find. So that's the biggest struggle for all us drivers. Even in Supercars, the main game here in Australia, most drivers still have to bring funding. So it's a never-ending battle, unfortunately.
Yeah, that's tricky, isn't it? What do you think has made you successful behind the wheel?
I think for me, I'm quite a determined person. If I put my mind to something, I work really hard until I get there. So it's something I've always wanted to do. I don't really care that I'm a female and all that. I just love racing and I just love getting behind the wheel. It's something I'm truly passionate about. And to also, I guess, pave that way for other females, having been a young girl starting go-karts, I've never really had a female role model to look up to that has been a driver. So for me to be that person, especially in Australia, for young girls to look up to and follow the pathway and I guess show them that, you can do it even though you are a female, you can get the same results as them and win.
You certainly can. So now you've gone with Porsche, and since joining the Carrera Cup, what have been your biggest achievements?
For me, probably my biggest achievement is in the feeder category of Porsche Carrera Cup, Porsche Michelin Sprint Challenge. I did my first full season in that in 2022, and I got quite a few podiums, led a few races, even in torrential rain and stuff. And I got fourth in that championship. For me, that was a really big achievement. Thank you. Which then led me in 2023 to being one of the pink BWT cars for Carrera Cup, which is very cool because it was the first BWT Porsche here in Australia. They've got a European team, Lechner, they sponsor, and they also sponsor the F1 Alpine cars. So that was pretty cool to see them in Australia and actually be the driver for them.
Yeah, that's so fantastic. What are your next steps? Do you want to achieve being in Formula One?
For me, I obviously would have loved to go to Formula One, but unfortunately the budget's just not there. But I guess the realistic goal for me right now is to focus on going to Supercars, the Supercar Championship here in Australia. So my next step would be going to Super 2, which is their feeder category. And you do that for normally about 2 years, get some wildcard drives and some pro drives for the endurance rounds for supercars, and then, jumping into supercars full time.
Yeah, supercar, and it's not just about the money, is it? You have to make the supercar points as well, don't you? How does that work?
Yeah, so you have to have a certain license points to be able to get in there. So there is a point system. So you just can't rock up and go, here's my helmet, I'll buy a drive and step in. So there is a bit of a point system based on the categories you race and your results. They do a system on that. And then you have to have so many super license points to be able to be accepted to race in the category.
If there's young girls watching this and they want to jump into a competitive driver's seat, what advice would you have for them to help them realise their dreams?
Definitely. Starting go-karts is the biggest thing for me, and I think helps build so many foundations for yourself. And you also don't have the big expense there. So you kind of want to do your learning in go-karts before you make the big step, because then you've got so much more learning to go in car racing. So I guess building your foundations in karts, but for sure, making sure that you're extremely passionate about 100% what you want to do, because it's definitely not going to lie. It's a hard, tough path that you have to work towards every single day for many years. So definitely go after it. The sky's the limit, and have a crack. You can definitely do it. Doesn't matter if you're a female or male. It doesn't stop you. So have a go if that's what you're passionate about.
That's great advice. And finally, how do you gauge success as a competitive driver?
For me, I'm very results-based driven. So if I'm on the podium and getting poles in qualifying and stepping on top of the podium, then that's for me success. And also comes down to times in racing as well. So how far you're off. So say you're in fifth, but you're only 2-3 tenths off, like that's quite successful. But if you were like 8 tenths off, then for me, that's not successful. So yeah, for me, it's results, and also, I guess, inspiring other young girls to, I guess, get to the top as well.
What a fabulous role model you are, Courtney, and I wish you every success in the world. Personally, I feel proud of your success in the field that you're in, so good on you. Lovely to chat to you. Thank you, Courtney Prince.
Thank you so much.
In the Driver's Seat is brought to you by the Perfect Cosmetics Company. This is Ticker, and we'll be right back.
You're watching Ticker. We'll have more in just a few minutes.